like right over there. They can hear you, you know. Are you guys ready to see the people you came here to see? You guys ready for your next comic? Oh, this guy. All right, here we go. Our next comedian is a man who desperately needs your thoughts and prayers. Why? He's a New York Mets fan. Please welcome the long-suffering Richard Vaughn.
Thank you, John. So, you know, Woody Allen once said that 90% of life is showing up. If that's the case, I'm done. Thanks. Good night. So, full disclosure, I'm trying some new material tonight. I know when I say that, some of you folks are probably thinking, oh, God, here we go. This guy, meaning me, this guy is taking a perfectly fine comedy show and he's hijacking it. And he's turning it into his own personal and private focus group. Can you imagine the nerve of this guy? I would counsel no. That's not how you want to think about it. Here's how you want to think about it. You want to think about it this way. You want to think, oh, he's doing new material. Oh my God, I'm seeing a world premiere. So, it's pretty cold out, right? Does anybody want to ask me how cold it is? Thank you. I'm glad you asked. It's so cold that the Russian hockey team tested positive for sterno. It's so cold in Philadelphia that William Penn's statue has shrinkage. And it's so cold, even the straight guys are wearing layers. Now, you may recall a few years ago that New Jersey did away with the death penalty. Apparently, just living here is punishment enough. Now, I don't know how many of you folks have seen the new movie A Star is Born. I enjoyed it. But did you know that they made a version of that movie for evangelicals? They did. It's called A Star is Born Again. So we're in the middle of December. I don't know how we got here so fast, but here we are. Then it'll be January and February and March. And March means St. Paddy's Day, which is a very special day for me. Not because I'm Irish, I'm not, but because my ex-wife is. And so every St. Paddy's Day, in her honor, I wear black and blue. But she's a very well-balanced Irish woman. She has a chip on both shoulders. So there's a phrase the media uses, an untimely death. They'll talk about someone's untimely death. Well, what's the implication there, folks? That a death can in fact be timely. Like, oh, that guy died right on time, didn't he? You couldn't have scripted that any better. It was even a slow news day. So you gotta love the timely death. So I'd like to talk about my last name for a bit. My last name is Vaughn, V-A-U-G-H-N. That's 6 letters, and 2 of those letters are silent and completely and utterly useless. Well, that's an efficiency rate of 67%. I come from a family of engineers. Do you have any idea how mortifying that is? I'm thinking that way back in the day, my ancestors, for whatever reason, they paid for 6 letters even though they knew full well they could only use 4. Very shrewd, my people, very shrewd. Now my daughter is married now, and her last name now is Bellingham. Better. 10 letters, only 1 silent, 90%. Not bad. Give the girl credit, she married up. But take a real last name, like, oh, I don't know, Castiglione. 11 letters, 0 silent. 100% efficiency rating. No, wait, they went 11 for 11. Let's give them 110%. And if you think the Castigliones paid for all those 11 letters, come on, you know they knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. So let's recap. Castiglione, 11 for 11, 110%. 5 beautiful syllables out of 11 letters. Castiglione. Grade A. No, wait, this is a Castiglione. Grade fucking A. Next up, the Bellinghams, 9 for 10. Not bad. 3 syllables, perfectly respectable. Grade B+. Bringing up the rear, you guessed it, Vaughn. 6 letters, 2 silent, a dreadful 67%, 1 whole syllable, you can't do worse. Grade F. Or, as the Castiglione would say, F as in forget about it. So while we're on the subject of family, I have to give myself credit. I've really come a long way. I've had a lot to overcome. It has not been easy, and it has to do with my childhood and my upbringing. And I'd like to talk a little bit about it now. It's not easy, but growing up, my mom and dad were kind and generous and supportive and loving. And my brothers and I, we grew up in a household full of life, laughter, and love, which left me entirely unprepared for the world as it actually is. All that niceness, all that sharing, all that caring. What the fuck was that? What good does that do you in life at all, ever? For one thing, I have enormous issues with trust. Here, and I'll just be real blunt about it. I trust people. I actually do. I actually believe what people say. How messed up is that? I'll never forget when I went to college and I found out there was no Santa Claus. Not long ago, I went to a car dealer. I wound up buying 6 cars, and the undercoating, and the extended warranty. I even believe Facebook. Can we access your contacts? Okay. Another issue I have is with physical intimacy. I am very comfortable hugging people and being hugged back. Now, is that a great way to get stabbed in the back or what? So, like I said, it's been tough. You have no idea how much time, money, and effort I put into straightening this out, especially the money. With the money I spent on this, I could have bought a 7th car. So thanks, Dad. You couldn't be like abusive or alcoholic or even impossible to please. No. You had to be a stand-up guy, reliable, consistent. You even had to be emotionally available. So thanks, Dad. Here I am, paying the price to this day. Dad, I hope you're not happy now, bitch.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, you're sorry. Did I strike a chord out there with something? No, not thinkable. No. So, despite that trauma, I'm doing okay now. I really am. But a couple of years ago, I was not doing okay. A couple of years ago, I was laid off from my job and dumped by my wife at the same time. As you can imagine, I was thrilled to cross that off my bucket list. But a couple of good things did come out of it. I got my first TV gig. I was featured on an episode of America's Least Wanted, and I was nominated for a Nobel Prize for discovering the cure for self-esteem. Now, as you can imagine, I was on online dating sites and online job sites, and sometimes confusing the two. This was me on a job interview one time. So I understand you're looking for someone who understands databases, mobile apps, and likes to go for long romantic walks at night. I did not get the job, but I got a sympathy date. So I dated a lawyer for a while. So after all these years of getting screwed by lawyers, I got to screw one back. I dated a woman who was a philosophy major. Whenever we would get into an argument, she would convince me that I didn't exist. So it's different now. The women I date are older, and they all have, adult children. And with the daughters, it's like, oh, isn't it wonderful that mom has a man in her life? But the sons are like, yo, this guy's doing my mom. I'm supposed to be happy for her? So I'm not dating anyone now, or as I like to say, I'm between disappointments. And I don't really care much for the term divorce. I prefer to think of myself as certified pre-owned. And when you think about it, the used car analogy is pretty damn good. For one thing, with a car, if you want to be sure, you can do a Carfax. With a date, criminal background check. With a car, new tires, new brakes, that's a good thing. On a date, new hair and new teeth, not so good. With a car, is that mileage accurate? With a date, is her age accurate? In both cases, are those photos recent? With a car, if you hear a noise, it might be a valve tap. With a date, if you hear a noise, that might be a pacemaker. And for both cases, sometimes you gotta take a close look and squint and look forward and get a good look and lean in. It's like, yeah, it looks like some work's been done here. Okay. But the bottom line is, you really don't know what you have until you get inside and take it for a test drive. Let's see what happens when you push this. See what happens when you push that. Brum, brum, brum. Let's see what this baby can do. So speaking of what that baby can do, despite what you may have heard, size does matter. Frankly, I don't know. Because as it happens, I am endowed with a very, very, very small medical insurance copay. And it drives the women wild. They be loving that thing all night long. You want that copay. I know you want that copay. I know you know why you want that copay. Typically it goes like this with the ladies. They're like, oh my God, I've seen some copays in my time, but I've never seen one like that. Oh, the things I could do with that. Oh, varicose veins, nips, tucks. Oh, did I mention, by the way, that it's the family plan? Ma'am, I know what you're thinking. How do I marry this guy? I know when I walked up here, the women are looking at me and they're going, meh. But now you're looking at me and you're thinking, maybe I can get my needs met out of network. Or maybe with a new provider. There is one thing I get satisfaction out of, though, and that is I have an unusual religious affiliation I'd like to talk about right now. I am a Zen Episcopalian. And you may have heard of us. In fact, you may have passed our church on the way in, Our Lady of One Hand Clapping. That is us. So what is a Zen Episcopalian? Who are we? What do we believe? Well, it kind of is what it sounds like, but let me explain. For one thing, we believe in God, the Father, and whatever you pick. 2 out of 3 is good enough for us. We're not here to judge. No pressure. We believe that Jesus died for your sins, but we believe that other people did too. Lenny Bruce, Buddy Holly, Harvey Weinstein. Now, we're not into fire and brimstone. We're more like fire pit and a couple of beers. That's kind of where we're at. Now, we love the 10 Commandments, but we think that maybe 10's a little too many. So we have replaced the 10 Commandments with 3 or 4 things you might want to think about, but only if you want to. Again, no pressure. Now, we do have our own version of the beloved 23rd Psalm, and with your kind permission, I would like to recite it to you right now. 23rd Psalm, Zen Episcopalian, 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my Sherpa, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. I dig the moment. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. For yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it's cool, it's totally cool. He prepareth a table before me, no meat or dairy products. He anointeth my head with oil, no trans fats. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the rest of my days, and I will dwell in the Airbnb of the Lord forever. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the King of Rock and Roll, my name is Richard Vaughn. Thank you and good night.